What's up, guys? Inigami here. Let's go through Treasure Map Doffy on the Japanese version of One Piece Treasure Cruise. Mini bosses are Gladius, Pica, Sugar, and Diamante. I am probably gonna get some name wrong at some point. We're gonna go through Gladius first. I've got my team set up. Remember once again that these teams are examples. Feel free to swap around whoever you need to. I'd say the only character that makes a really big difference this time around is having the Treasure Map Rare Recruit boosted Corazon, who is, without a doubt, Bandai's very obvious way of trying to get 2 Sugofest pulls out of you. They got 2 Sugofest pulls out of me. Huge regrets. I lost. I got nothing out of those Sugo pulls. But I got Treasure Map Corazon, who is literally exactly perfect against Final Stage Doffy. He gets rid of all the Final Stage Doffy debuffs. So he is as perfect as it gets for that fight. So if you have him, that's a very easy solution for Final Stage of Doffy. Otherwise, we'll talk about that more as we get there. First one versus Gladius. We're going to be using a Lin Barto Cabbage team. Double Barto Cabbage or double Lin also works. I want to use Barto Cabbage because they give me more points. Don't forget you can swap their position, so that way they can become a, or that way they can get a matching orb and also boost their own orbs and reduce your damage taken. It does help to have them set on Cavendish as we go into stage 6, because this is the only fight with a mini boss on it. And the mini boss is gonna be Dellinger. Not dangerous though. Dellinger really doesn't do anything. He gives us empty and block orbs, which can be annoying if they put block orbs on our quick characters, on our Dex characters. And unfortunately, Barto Cabbage doesn't get rid of their own block orb. So you can't use them to swap that block orb. Important character we're bringing on this team is Zoro. Zoro's really the only reason we're using this team, because we want to use him to get rid of the damage threshold on the final stage. So Dellinger will lower our chain and limit us to 2 specials per turn for 2 turns. Neither of those, even if you kill Dellinger on stage 1, neither of those are going to affect the final stage, since they're 2 turns, so they will be removed by the time you get to the next stage. If your Barto Cabbage doesn't have a Dex orb, then it doesn't have a block orb, you can swap them, make it a Dex version, boost their own orbs. Against Gladius, we're using that Lin, which is also a reason to use this team. I forgot about Lin. Gonna use Lin, gets rid of Despair. Gonna use Zoro, gets rid of that Threshold. And that's all we need. After that, attack him, take him out. If he swapped over to Barto earlier, you can swap back to Cavendish here, so you can have another quick character. You can use your special if you want, so that way you can get better captain ability. But it takes it down. It's a 6-turn Despair, 3 turns of damage threshold, and prevents delays, so you can use other debuffs right there. Below 50%, he'll gain resilience, and below 20%, he'll attack you for a ton of damage, so just avoid that below 20%. Other than that, make sure you have a Despair remover and bring a Zoro. Those both help a lot. Next stage is gonna be versus, who is it? Pica! Pikachu! I take a Pikachu. Pica, we're gonna be using a double Doffy driven team. Eventually, I'll want to use 6+ Doffy here, since 6+ Doffy's captain ability is just better than regular Doffy's captain, or version 1 Doffy's captain ability. But since you get Doffy's skulls from doing Treasure Map, I do not have his, I don't have 6+ Doffy yet. So we might have some 6+ Doffy friend captains. If we do, I'll use those. They give me more points than regular Doffy. And they have a better captain ability. Hey, look at that right there. Oh man, this Doffy doesn't have skill ups. Boo. We're also using Doffy ship here just to make perfects easier to hit, especially since you're using version 1 Doffy. The reason we want to use Doffy is I'm looking to use Guild Tesoro on this team. Guild Tesoro and Moria. That's really what this team is for. Pica, everyone else, not really used. Shiki does give us a tight boost, which is nice. Doffy for the orb boosts. But Pica is going to revive, and he's going to revive to 300,000 hit points. It's always flat 300k hit points, so Moria, even if you don't have Moria limit broken, will let you How rude. Moria, even without Limit Break, if you use him just once, that will kill Pica after Revive, which is nice. Before Revive, he does have a barrier. But after Revive, he will no longer have the barrier, so Pica will actually kill him without having to use a special for Barrier Pen. Later on, we are going to get our health cut, so I actually want to keep my health full here. Losing health to Doffy's ship being despaired kind of sucks. But with a recovery orb, if I can get one more recovery orb, I can heal back to full, which would be very, very, very nice. Thank you very much. And the reason I want full health is because as long as we're above or equal to 50% health, then our Guild Tesoro will give us full matching orbs. You can also use Treasure Map Jack here instead of Moria, both works. But I want above 50% health because Pica is going to make any non-Psy orbs, so all the primary color, all red, green, blue, purple, tandem, and recovery orbs count as badly matching. You can use a beneficial matching special here. Say you use 6-star fighter Luffy, you can use him on stage 6, so that way you have a beneficial orb boost going into the final stage, so you don't have to worry about beneficial or badly matching orbs. But I'm going to be using Guild Tesoro to give me all Psy orbs, so it won't really matter. Pica is going to have a 2-hit perfect barrier, going to cut our health by 50%. Make non-Psy orbs count as badly matching for 20 turns. Make sure you use your Doffy specials before your Guild Tesoro special if you are using Doffy and Guild Tesoro, because they'll give you badly matching orbs. Guild Tesoro also has a Sailor ability. Guild Tesoro makes Psy orbs count as matching for all driven characters, which is always hecka nice. Then hit some perfects, and he's out of there. And then I'll revive. It always revives to 300k hit points. Boom, boom. Clears buffs, or clears debuffs. Gives himself a type boost and attack boost. And since Moria is exactly 300k, always kills him after revive. Makes it very, very easy. He starts at 1 million hit points on round 1. Gladius on round 1 starts at 800,000 hit points. Pica at 1 million hit points. Next round is gonna be versus Sugar, I want to say. I think it's Sugar. Sugar is one of the lower healths. Sugar is a little funky. We're gonna want to bring someone who gets rid of or gives you Psy orbs on Sugar. You also have Sailor abilities. Don't forget there are Sailor abilities such as Rakuyo, who gives you a Psy orb whenever you get to the final stage. Using characters like him will be nice. That way you can get past the Psy orb barrier that exists of one of these dudes here. Gonna use Katakuri. Not particularly because Katakuri is super important to this fight, but more of because Katakuri is one of the good points boosted characters. Not necessary at all. Katakuri, if you take some damage early on, is nice because then he'll help us kill Sugar's fodder units, which have health barriers. So Sugar is going to have just under 500,000 hit points at the start. I am using Dorian Brogy. And look, tandem attacks. Huge waste of time to do nothing at all. Boost my attack and my powerhouse characters, why don't you? Pathetic waste of time. Haven't used tandem attacks in ages though, so it's kind of fun to see them. Suleiman is nice to have on this team. Suleiman will give us some matching orbs as long as we don't have a block orb on our characters. And we are looking for Psy orbs, so trying to get a Psy orb on that Dory, whichever the Psy giant is, I don't remember. So we're trying to get a Psy orb on a Psy giant, so that we can kill one of the fodder units later. This guy has 2 one-turn attacks, so I'm gonna take a hit here. You know what? I'll take another hit to make the final stage easier. Unfortunately, there's no fights besides the Pica fight that has preemptive health cuts. And Katakuri isn't really useful for that preemptive health cut anyways against Pica. But we'll take a hit or two here on this earlier stage. Oh my gosh, don't. No, hit me, they say. Hit me, hit me. Just passing around who wants to get punched today. Guys, you'll all die. It's no need to rush. Please and thank you. Oh, Dory is in Brogy is Psy. Whoops, had those backwards. Katakuri doesn't need to be charged that much. If you start having a hard time with this team, then just charge up your Katakuri more. His special is really the only special you need. Everyone else on this team is either because I want to get limit break points on them, aka Dory and Brogy, or they're worth some decent points like Suleiman and Smoothie. Look, I got the name right. Final stage Sugar locks target onto the Psi barrier guy, which is why we want to get rid of Psi orb guy, which is why we also want to hopefully get a empty or tandem orb on our Dory, which we didn't. So we're just going to pass the turn this time. Try to find us a Psi orb or a tandem or recovery orbs. That way Suleiman can turn those into matching orbs. Not what we're looking for. That's doubly unfortunate. This turn, Katakuri would just kill everybody anyways, so... Alright, here, we got a Psi Orb. Here you go, Katakuri. Kills everybody else. Oh yeah, it's only 2 turns of Psi Orb. So, if you don't get a Psi Orb, only 2 turns of barrier, Katakuri just kills everyone in turn 3 anyways. Yeah. If you have a empty orb or a tandem orb on that Dory, does Suleiman also change block into matching? Oh, maybe it was just bomb. I should have just used Suleiman. We could have gotten there to turn 1. I should know what my characters do. Suleiman changes recovery, tandem, empty, block, and bomb orbs on slashers. Oh shoot! I could have just used Suleiman. It would have given me that Psi orb. So, rewind, just use Suleiman, use Katakuri, kill that stage, easy peasy. Against Diamante. Diamante is Dex. We're going to use a double Luffy team. You can also use Luffy on the final stage versus Doffy, but I'm going to be saving Sabo for that final stage because Sabo will give me more points. So, double Luffy here on this stage. Everyone else, whoever, doesn't really matter. Position on this team does matter because Diamante is going to rewind the specials of your first 2 rows. So captains are going to be rewind by 3 turns. Middle row is going to be rewound for 3 turns. The bottom right-hand corner is going to be silenced for 5 turns or special binded for 5 turns. And your bottom left character is going to be left totally alone. So if there is a special you want to use on the final stage of Diamante, put them in the bottom left. Otherwise, everyone else is either going to get special rewound or silenced. If you have anyone who resists special rewind, such as Treasure Map Kizaru, you can put them in the middle row. Other than that, bottom left special is really the only special you're actually going to use. We will use 1 Luffy special as soon as we get to stage 6 here. We're going to use 1 Luffy special and then hit 3 perfects so that way we get the better orb boost next turn. It's not super important, it just makes it a little bit easier. You can also put Big Mom on your bottom left-hand corner if you want to have all those G orbs from Big Mom. Diamante has end of turn damage for 9 turns. He has a total, or he starts with 730,000 hit points. Like I said, rewinds top 2 rows, binds, or special binds the bottom right-hand corner character. On turn 2, he'll reduce damage taken by quick characters. No, he'll reduce damage taken by Dex characters. But why would you let him live till turn 2? Just kill him turn 1. Easy sauce. Really only need 1 special on that turn. If you have a hard time, just put Big Mom on the bottom left-hand corner. Big Mom special will also take care of everything. Even better if you have someone who gives you G to matching orbs. But no one who does that without, who aren't boosted on this treasure map. Final stage is gonna be versus Doffy. There's no ambush this time around. You also saw that I got an Usopp just now. You do get Usopp as a reward for a few runs, up to... You're gonna get a total of 5 copies of Usopp. Usopp does have a limit break, so those 5 copies will max out his limit break for you. No support abilities. just the one copy Usopp and then the other copies for his support. We're going to be using Legend Sabo as our friend captain, a Kizaru captain here, just to try to get as many points as I can with a decently efficient team. Kaido, 100% cuttable on this team. Kaido is literally here because he's one of my highest points boosters, being a 1.4 times boost. So Kaido literally is here just because he gives me a lot of points. Usopp and Corazon. Corazon is the guy who is, if you don't do Sugar pulls, you're going to have a hard time replacing. You're going to need someone who gets rid of percent damage reduction, especially. Chain lockers, if you bring a person who locks your own chain or just don't worry about chain lock at all, those are two ways to deal with chain lock. But Corazon will also get rid of the chain lock on the final stage, so that way our friend Sabo can actually lock our chain to the good number. And we're using a Kizaru captain so we can get a 3-turn tight boost, because on the final stage there's also a special interrupt on tight boost that clears your buff. So try not to use a special boost on the final stage. Stages 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, usual stuff. Stage 6, Miniboss Doffy. Miniboss Doffy starts at 400k hit points. He's going to preemptively bind our top and bottom rows. So middle position for Usopp once you get him. Very, very, very nice to have Usopp on this team. Binds the top and bottom rows for 4 turns, which will essentially be a 1-turn bind. Silences everyone for 1 turn, which Usopp has a sailor ability that resists silence, so he's perfect. And then on turn 2, Doffy is going to despair your captains for 4 turns and paralyze everybody for 3 turns. So here's the 1-turn silence on everyone, 4-turn bind on everyone. Usopp gets rid of 1 turn of bind and silence, delays enemies. Super perfect. We'll also use Kizaru here to give us the 3-turn tight boost for Dex characters. And I don't have an orb manipulator on this team, so I could look for orbs going into this stage as things get harder. Don't forget, we are going to use Croc just for his better captain ability, and Croc's captain ability also gives us some beneficial matching orbs. So final stage Doffy, 3 turns of percent damage reduction, 3 turns of chain lock. Hey, Corazon gets rid of both of those. Gets rid of chain lock, gets rid of percent damage reduction, reduces defense. We're going to use Sabo to give us an orb boost and also lock our chain. We're going to use Croc, who would give us a tight boost, but we already have the tight boost from Kizaru, so you don't have to worry about it. It's not going to cause a special interrupt. And then don't use Kaido. Kaido just gets rid of all our positive buffs, so don't do that. 2-turn good hit barrier means our first 2 attacks don't matter. Good, I have 2 characters who aren't really boosted by my team. And then end with like a Dex dude and boom, 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 boom. Easy, 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 easy. So, Treasure Map Doffy. Don't forget the Treasure Map Doffy is boosted on his own treasure map, so once you get him, evolve him, so that way you can put him on teams and start getting limit break points on him. You saw that I was using him earlier on the Lin team. Totally forgot to mention him on there. He's just getting those limit break points. Yay, limit break points. Save some potions when you use them on the teams. Doffy's captain ability boosts the attack of driven characters by 2.75 times, heals 500 hit points at the end of each turn, and if you use Doffy special during that turn, he'll boost the attack of driven characters by 3.5 times instead. So pretty dang solid driven captain ability. Doffy's special ability is really weird for a Doffy. Like, it is a really weird Doffy special ability. So this is our support Doffy. Doffy really seems like the kind of guy who wants to support others, right? He's our support Doffy. He's got those helping special abilities. His special ability removes recovery down completely. He'd be amazingly good if he got rid of heal bind or no heal debuff, but he doesn't get rid of heal bind. He gets rid of recovery down, which is basically only useful on a 6+, double 6+ Enel team. He also reduces damage taken by 80% for 2 turns. And if your captain is a driven character, changes all driven orbs, including block orbs, into matching orbs. So that's the most important part of Doffy here. The 80% damage reduction for 2 turns, which is pretty nice, and also giving you fully matching orbs on a driven team Even block orbs, getting rid of even block orbs. So fully matching orbs, 80% damage reduction. Also recovery down removal, but who cares? Literally only a double Nell team is the only team I can think of that even cares about recovery down. His sailor abilities. Reduces silence on him by 3 turns. And boosts the attack, health, and recovery of driven characters by 30. Just a smidge of health, attack, and recovery for driven characters. Limit break abilities, of course, are orb, bind reduction by 5 turns, and double special. Right, that's double special, right? Is that double special? That's, oh no, that's cooldown reduction at the start. So 5 turn cooldown reduction at the start. So he is a 13 turns, but he's really a 8 turns, even a 6 turn, depending on if you have level 2 cooldown reduction sockets. And his sailor ability is a 8% attack, health, and recovery boost to trebles, picas, and diamantes. Decent boost. Make sure you put attack and health recoveries on, attack and health candies on Doffy. He doesn't need recovery candies at all. 5 sockets. Good to go. Don't forget that there are fewer treasure map pull rewards since we are getting Usopps this time around instead of getting treasure map tickets. So there are a lot of Usopps as rewards instead of treasure map tickets. And interestingly, while we are getting our 6+ Doffy skulls from this treasure map, 6+ Doffy is our first super evolving character who gains a socket on super evolving. So if any brave souls out there want to find out what happens if you unsuper evolve Doffy after getting an extra socket on him, I would love to find out about that. I would love it if you could tell me what happens if you try to unsuper evolve Doffy once you put an extra socket on there. Because that's never happened before. Don't know what they're going to do if you put an extra socket on a character and then you try to unsuper evolve it. I've been Shinigami, guys. Treasure Map Doffy. Get those 6+ Doffy skulls, which happened at a total of 1.7 million points. Usopp on the route there. Your first Usopp is at like 100k, and then you can put them on your teams. Good luck. Thank you so much for watching. Y'all stay beautiful.